Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Ross Martin, Scott Marlowe, special guest star Susan Oliver. Tonight's episode, Friends Till Death.
I was wondering when we'd ever get together again. So I'm so glad you called. I really am.
That was the one thing we swore we'd never do. Drift apart, remember?
Which reminds me, I came across this the other day. I was doing some serious house cleaning. Where do you see this? That's something?
The 3 expatriates.
The nemesis of Pacific Western U. Independent to the end. Have you heard from Karen? Oh, neither have I. Oh, she's probably jet-setting around the world someplace. End up engaged to a baron or an earl, I figure. Sue, I kind of get the idea that, you didn't call me to talk over old times. You want to tell me what the problem is?
You always did read me like a book. Betty, you still work for your father-in-law?
Yeah. Barnaby's right-hand girl.
Listen, you think he'd have time to talk to me? I can't go to the police, and that's why I thought of Barnaby. Could you call him, please, now?
Sure.
Thank you, Betty.
Right back.
Oh, Barnaby, I'm glad I caught you in.
Where's the package?
Stay away from me!
Let me see it. Let me see it!
Thank you, Lieutenant. Well, I'm not sure. But if we do go out, I'll leave a number. Thank you. The authorities have decided that Susan's death was suicide.
How can they be so certain? Did they find a note?
No, not yet. They haven't even found her purse. They think that some ghoul in the crowd must have picked it up right after she fell.
Susan did not commit suicide. Self-destruction was not in her.
Betty, it's in all of us a little bit, to a certain degree. He said she was upset in the restaurant.
Yes, at first, but when she thought you were going to help her, it was as though I'd pulled her from an undertow.
And why did she revert to suicide when you left her? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Well, I can't answer that without knowing what kind of trouble she was in.
She would never have let go that quickly. She was a fighter from the first day I met her. The 3 expatriates.
The what?
That was one of the last things we talked about. It's what we called ourselves in college. I met Susan when we were freshmen. She couldn't make a sorority, and we went into a dorm together, and then a third girl joined us, Karen Macklin.
So you became the 3 expatriates?
Yeah. I am suddenly becoming very tired. But I wanted to ask you something about a new client.
Yeah. Later. I'll take you home.
Barnaby, now listen. This new client, can't wait. It's, me. I want you to look into Susan's death.
We'll talk after you've had some sleep.
Now, please.
Betty, I can understand how personal Susan's death is to you.
It's personal to both of us, Barnaby. Barnaby, please. Her last act was to ask for your help. Now I'm asking. Please, will you look into her death?
You really need an answer.
No. Karen.
I just flew in from Hong Kong last night, and then I read about Susan.
I was with her when she died.
Oh. Three of us fighting the world. I know it's hard, Betty, but why don't we try to think about the happy days?
I don't know if happy's the right word for it. Remember that time we got the silent treatment?
Oh. And the time they threatened to boycott any fellas that dated us? That really nearly ended our dazzling careers as femme fatales. Femmes fatales. But we endured.
That we did.
Graduation. And you got married. And Susan went to work at the clinic, and well...
I wish you'd contacted me. I didn't expect an invitation to Biarritz or anything like that, but
a postcard wouldn't have hurt, huh? Yeah, I guess I became a snob.
I'm just sorry that it was Susan's death that reunited us.
You know, I want to help with the arrangements for Susan's funeral. I know you haven't had time to do anything about it, but...
Thank you. I haven't been able to think much past yesterday in the restaurant.
Did Susan say anything about the kind of trouble she was in?
No, nothing. It's just that she couldn't go to the police.
Oh, hey, I've got to leave. I've got a long way to my hotel.
I wish you'd reconsider and stay here.
I'd love to, except that we just stay and talk all day, and you need some rest after all you've been through.
Hello? Oh, yes, Barnaby. When?
I'm not sure, but somebody gave this place a going over.
Well, any idea who?
No, nobody saw anybody go in or out. Did Susan give you anything at the restaurant, or did she mention anything somebody might be looking for?
No. Not that I can recall at all.
I'd like to go over your meeting with her again. Can you meet me at the office?
Sure, I'm on my way. That was my father-in-law. There's been a new lead in Susan's death. Her apartment's been ransacked.
You mean robbed?
No, Barnaby thinks someone was searching for something.
I don't understand.
You may have a clue. I don't know. We're going to talk about it anyway. Say, listen, why don't you stay until I get back? Of course, I don't know how long I'm going to be.
I'll call you later, huh? Find it?
Do I look like I did? All right, what did you learn?
Well, Betty doesn't know anything about the package, but her father-in-law saw Susan's apartment just after you got through with it. He knows somebody is after something.
But does he know who or what?
No, I don't think so, not yet.
You know, we wouldn't be in this fix if you waited for me at the Hong Kong airport. If you waited for me just a little longer.
How could I wait when I saw the police pick you up? I thought the whole setup had been blown. My only thought was to get on that plane.
But the police didn't even know about you.
How did I know what you'd tell them?
Well, I wasn't about to confess that you were smuggling $1 million worth of heroin out of the country for me.
All right, I panicked. Anyway, I got the stuff through American Customs.
Yeah. And gave it to your girlfriend.
Well, what else could I do? You could have broken under interrogation, and Hong Kong could have contacted the Los Angeles police, and they would have picked me up.
Okay. Look, we are over the time limit on this delivery. And we have got to find the lead on that package, and we have got to find it very fast. Now, it wasn't in her purse. There's no report it was on her body. I couldn't find it in her apartment.
She must have hid it somewhere else.
You're hedging one option, sweetheart. Your friend Betty. I don't know, maybe something happened between her and Susan before I got there at the restaurant.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, we need information. I want you to move in with her.
Oh, Vince, I don't want Betty involved in this, too. Please.
Sweetheart, we'll do what's necessary. I mean, if it's her life or ours. Come on, baby, there's no contest.
No, like I told him. I found it in a trash can on 6th Street. Hey, I wasn't anywhere near where that woman fell.
You sure this purse was empty when you tried to peddle it?
Dry as a bone. I'll stake my reputation on it.
I believe him. According to Betty, Susan Taylor had some currency in his bag. If he'd have found the money, we'd have probably found him stretched out in some drunk tank or alley by now.
That's pure logic.
You cut this lining?
No, sir, that's the condition I found it in.
All right, you can let him go.
Mitsuko's, Hong Kong. You mind if I borrow this?
Go ahead.
Check on their progress and call me by this afternoon. With some results this time, please.
I can't push too hard. Betty's not stupid.
Find a way. Hey. I love you.
Oh, honey. Couldn't we just go away and find a quiet spot and forget all this?
Our friends won't let us forget. Take care.
How are you, Vincent?
Hey, I can explain, Jerry.
No explanation is necessary. Not to me, anyway. Just that Mr. Emery's worried.
Yeah, I can understand.
2 days, no word. Thinks you're avoiding him. What can I tell him?
Well, I was delayed. I lost sight of this girl I was using.
You mean the one that just drove out?
All right. We had a mix-up.
You mean you took your eyes off the ball?
Look, Jerry, just let me explain the whole...
No explanation's necessary. Just that in any ball game, you get only 3 strikes. You already got 2. You didn't show up at the meeting? Strike 1. We had to find you? Strike 2. Do you have the goods? Not, can you get them? Do you have them?
Hey, where are you going?
I've got to meet some friends.
Hey, wait a minute. Look. Give me a day's spread, huh? Ask Mr. Emery.
You sure you can get the stuff by tomorrow?
Absolutely. I give you my word.
All right, I'll do my best. I'm going out on a limb doing this, Vincent. Don't let me down.
Oh, Barnaby, I'd like you to meet Karen Macklin.
The 3rd expatriate.
Mr. Jones?
Karen, it's a pleasure.
Karen's going to stay with me during her visit.
Betty bribed me. Promised I wouldn't have to help with the housework.
I wouldn't count on it.
Oh.
How long are you going to be here, Karen?
Until I wear out my welcome.
Which will be a long time, because I'm going to insist. Is that Susan?
Did she ever mention having been to Hong Kong?
No. Oh. Well, she could have bought that locally, Barnaby. A lot of shops sell Hong Kong goods.
Never heard of a local shop named Mitsuko's. Maybe Karen could help us. I understand you just got in from Hong Kong.
Oh, well, I was just there one day. I'm not familiar with the shops.
Oh.
Well, whoever searched that purse certainly did a thorough job.
Whoever made it got careless. He didn't sew down this side of the label.
There's something behind it? Here. Could be an inspector's number, but why would they hide it behind the label?
Why on plastic? Of course, it could have been something that Susan slipped back there.
The number 733, do you think that means anything?
Maybe. But tape is meant to stick to something.
And that something got separated?
When, whatever it was pulled out of here. Betty, when you called me from the restaurant yesterday, did you leave anything on the table?
No. My purse?
You still have the same purse?
Yes. Here it is.
You take anything out of it since yesterday?
No, I didn't. There. That's everything.
Anything new in here?
No. I'll check. Wait a minute. My driver's license is expired. That's it. What now?
Well, I think I better do a little more checking on Susan, what she was up to the last few days.
Was there anything I can do to help?
No, you just have a good reunion with Karen.
Yeah?
Jones is narrowing down on the goods. He found something in the purse that I gave Susan.
What was it?
A plastic label with number 733, but not what it belonged to. But I think Jones is going to find our package for us.
Oh, good. Let's just hope it's soon. Look, don't call me here anymore, Karen. I'm moving out.
What's wrong?
There's no time to explain. I'll be at the Elwood Apartments in Hollywood if you have to contact me. Goodbye.
Going somewhere, Vincent?
Something came up. I was going to call you.
Mr. Emery!
Thank you, Jerry. Oh, come, Calvin, please. You're ruining Mr. Talbot's clothes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Emery.
Beautiful leather. You have such exquisite taste, Vincent. It's so expensive.
I wasn't going to run out on you, Mr. Emery. I promise I wasn't.
Of course not. You wouldn't be that stupid. Shall we go inside, gentlemen? Looks as though Vincent has developed a chill.
I know we lost the heroin, but I'm going to get it back for you, I promise.
Ah, I see, Jerry. I told you we had nothing to worry about. There's no need for me to leave that party. I told you. Vincent's completely trustworthy.
See, there's this guy, Barnaby Jones. He's a private detective. He's got a good lead where the stuff is hidden.
A private detective? A friend of yours?
No. There's nothing to worry about. You see, what I did was I had Karen stay with his daughter-in-law. I figured with her in hand, hey, he'll lead us right to the stuff.
As a matter of fact, it's a very good plan. But in the face of how good a plan that is, it makes me wonder, where were you running tonight?
I needed time. I told Jerry tomorrow, and I got scared.
Fear is the enemy, dear boy. It puts lines in the face, even a handsome face like yours. It also makes one do very foolish things, like drawing a gun on Jerry here. Jerry.
Yes, sir?
You think you might be able to put an end to poor Vincent's fear?
Hey, come on, man. Don't hurt me.
Oh, we're not going to hurt you. Jerry's going to kill you.
Oh, man, come on. Hey, you need me. You need me.
No. Your plan really is quite good. It should be very easy to locate Jones's daughter-in-law, in which case I would have no use for you at all. Jerry. Jerry, in the future you must learn to be more careful. You almost ruined a very expensive game.
Is it complete inventory?
That's it, Barnaby. No other effects on Susan Taylor's body or clothing. You wanted the autopsy report?
Says here, her right thumb and forefinger were smudged with a foreign substance.
Maybe she clawed at the building edge when she fell.
Doesn't seem logical. According to this, her fingernails were unbroken. You have a sample of the substance?
Let me check.
Any luck with that sample?
Here's a breakdown.
Red, yellow, black, iron oxide.
Triethanolamine stearate.
Of course. Carnauba wax, Beeswax and shellac?
All adds up.
To what? Furniture polish?
Eyelash polish. That box of mascara still in your purse?
Sure. Yes. Here you go. It's a key.
They seem to go together.
Yes. It's a key 733, but a key to what?
Jerry. How do you...
Karen, I don't believe you've met Mr. Emery.
Miss Macklin? My goodness. It looks like poor Vincent's exquisite taste extended all the way to his choice in lady friends, doesn't it?
What's happened? Where's Vincent?
Unfortunately, our poor friend Vincent is dead.
What?
Dead.
You killed him?
Yes, unfortunately. Young woman, I shouldn't waste any time crying over him. I'd worry instead about my own survival if I were you. Your young friend has placed you in a most precarious position.
Miss Emery, she's not here.
All right. Where's Mr. Jones?
Betty doesn't have anything to do with this.
Miss Macklin. I shall caution you just one time. Your only value to me is as a means of access to Betty Jones and her father-in-law. Other than that, it's a pity. But you're worthless to me. Now, would you care to answer my question?
She is at his office. She should be back any time.
Karen, I've got some news. Barnaby found a key.
A key?
Found it in my mascara case. Susan must have put it there that day at lunch.
What kind of key?
The key man told Barnaby it could be to one of those frozen food lockers. He's checking it out now. Puzzles me, though, is why Susan was so secretive.
You said that she was in trouble.
Yes, but all this cloak and dagger stuff, I mean, what could she have had?
She had my property, Mrs. Jones.
Karen, who are these men?
Permit me, I'm Maxwell Emery. These are my associates, Jerry, Calvin. Say hello to the lady.
Karen, what's this about?
It's about a mistake, Mrs. Jones. $1 million mistake your friend here made.
It's about heroin, Betty. A friend and I smuggled a package of it into the country for him.
But Susan wouldn't have been involved in something like this.
Unfortunately, she was, as we all are. Then, if you'd be good enough to sit down. We can, all of us, wait until our detective friend, your father-in-law, puts an end to these complications.
Barnaby?
Yes, you did say he was on his way to pick up my package, did you not?
Well, if he does find it, you can be sure he'll not turn it over to you.
Then I'm afraid the future holds very little promise for either of you. I abhor harming anyone, I assure you, but man does what he has to do.
Yeah, Susan Taylor. That's the woman.
You say she came in here last week and rented this locker. Did she come in alone?
Well, if I remember, yeah, she didn't store very much. Say, what's this all about anyway?
Susan Taylor is dead. This may be the key to why she died.
Well, what's so special about ordinary rib roast?
Nothing. I was hoping for something a little less ordinary.
Excuse me.
Surely.
Yeah.
Answer the phone, my dear.
Hello?
Betty? Well, I've got it. It's white and it's powdery, but it sure isn't snow.
Barnaby,
That's excellent news, Mr. Jones. You've found my heroine, have you?
Who is this?
That's not important, is it? What's more to the point is that I have your daughter-in-law. Now, since you have something that belongs to me, it would seem to behoove us to effect some reasonable exchange, wouldn't you say?
Listen. If you have any idea of harming her...
Her personal safety is of utmost concern to me. Damaged goods would benefit neither one of us. I take it you haven't mentioned the heroine to anyone else?
No.
Good. Then just go to your office and wait there. I'll call you later with further instructions.
When you do, I'll want to talk to Betty.
As would any cautious man. And so you shall. But no police, or you'll never hear a voice again.
Jones.
Ah, Mr. Jones. Are you familiar with the North Valley Dam?
I know where it is.
Good. Shall we say 3 o'clock? Bring the package. And again, no police. Is that understood?
I'll be there. I want to speak to Betty.
Barnaby, don't walk into this. They've already killed two.
Betty, please do exactly what they tell you to.
That's excellent advice, Mr. Jones, for yourself as well. It's obvious you're a very intelligent man.
I'm smart enough to know that their lives aren't where the plug nickel-y things are. How about a trade? Me for them, and I'll lead you to the heroin.
Come now, Mr. Jones. I respect you. Don't disappoint me. We're both too mature to play games. I'll see you at the dam at 3 o'clock. I trust those bonds aren't too tight. Shouldn't be much longer now.
You'll let us go, won't you?
Of course. Once I have my property, there'll be no further need for you.
but you will need to leave the country.
Yes. There are some rather nice watering places that should be lovely at this time of year.
Not with 3 witnesses left behind. He has no intention of letting us live. It's a trap.
Very astute. But I'm afraid your comment about my dilemma succeeded only in distressing your friend here. You know, there are times when it's far better to keep one's mouth shut.
Karen, how in heaven's name did you get mixed up in all this anyway? I mean, you were the girl who had everything.
Sure. And I went along for quite a while on looks and friends, till one day we were gone. Then Vince came along.
Vince?
When I was here visiting Susan last year, I took her to a party. That's where I met him. He was so strong and so handsome. It made me feel 19 again. It wasn't until later I discovered how he got all his money. That's when he started using me to help him.
How did Susan get involved?
Well, Vincent and I were trying to get that heroin out of Hong Kong, and someone must have tipped the police. Anyway, they picked him up at the airport there, and I panicked. And when I reached L.A., I passed the package to Susan for safekeeping. Well, I told her not to look in the package.
Well, at least now I know why she called me. She couldn't turn you over to the police.
Well, gentlemen, shall we collect our things?
What's he doing?
I don't know.
We're late.
Took a little while to rig the dynamite.
I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage.
That was my intention. An old horse trader once taught me that it's a good idea to get a close look at the goods before anything changes hands. Your heroin's on the front seat. There's 5 sticks of dynamite underneath it. Anybody except me that tries to open that car, the whole thing will go up in the air like a load of kindling in a high wind.
Jerry, check that out.
It's here like he says. It's got wires running to all the doors.
By George, you run a good bluff, Mr. Jones. I admire that. Open the door, Jerry.
Sir?
Open the door and get the stuff. Can't you see he's conning us?
Yes, sir.
Of course, if you're wrong, the heroin goes too. That leaves you with $1 million worth of dust.
Open the door, Jerry.
I'm sorry, Syke. I can't do it.
Calvin, you think you might have a little more courage than our friend Jerry here?
No. I don't think so.
Why don't you do it yourself?
Well, thank you. We've had more than enough dramatics for the afternoon. I take it you want the ladies freed first, is that it?
You take it right.
All right, Calvin, untie them. I don't think we have anything to fear from them. Now that we have Mr. Jones here. By George, that was your intent right from the start, wasn't it? I wager you play a marvelous game of chess.
Only checkers. Betty, you take Karen and you get out of here.
You think I'm leaving you here alone?
I know what I'm doing. As soon as you're over that rise, I'll give him the heroin. Now, don't worry. Go on.
Well, I must say it's just as well. It would have been a crime to have had to do away with two such beautiful women.
With your gentle instincts, it's too bad you're in this line of work.
Thank you. Realize, of course, I'll have to keep you in their stead. There's no other insurance you've left me.
I thought of that.
Very noble of you. It's a most unusual trait in a man as shrewd as you are. All right, what about my property?
Go on, take it.
What about the dynamite?
I can tell that you haven't done much poker playing.
Then you were bluffing.
Sometimes a man has to gamble with what he hasn't got.
My hat's off to you, sir. I must say it's a joy to deal with an equal. See, Jerry? I told you he was bluffing.
Sorry, sir.
Open the door.
I don't want to have to shoot a man so equal.
You're right. Oh, Barnaby. In the station wagon.
Let's just say I traded it on a prettier model.
Barnaby Jones. Starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather. With guest star James Olsen. Tonight's episode, Catch Me If You Can.
Hey, Barnaby. I didn't know who it was at first. You're not working on Saturday, are you?
Well, 2 days rest always makes me feel like a loafer. I'm on my way up to the office, pick up some papers, fly up to San Francisco, wrap up a case. You don't look like you're exactly on the way to go fishing yourself.
Haven't got the time.
You're really taken to this private detective work, haven't you, Eddie?
Well, I won't lie to you, Barnaby, and tell you I don't miss the force, but... well, a man's got to finish what he started. And I'm this close to finishing.
You're not still after that butterfly killer.
Barnaby, I'm breathing right down his neck. It's just like the department psychiatrist said. He wants to get caught.
Eddie.
That's why he keeps writing me those notes, to keep me on the track. Well, this time he went too far. One note too many, Barnaby. I'm going to nail him with it.
You know, it's too bad you're so tied up. I had to turn down a case yesterday, been right up your alley. Say, maybe I can still...
Thanks, Barnaby. Maybe in a week or so, I'll give you a call to go fishing.
Sounds good. Don't forget it.
Right. Yes, operator. I'd like the number for Gene Merrick. M-E-R-R-I-C-K. In West L.A. Brentwood area, I think. I'll be with you in a minute. 4757. Thank you. Come in. It's about a case. I can't take anything new right now. But I know a good man, Barnaby Jones.
I didn't come here to hire a private detective. I came to get one off my back. That last clue I sent you, it worries me. I went too far. This typewriter says that you figured it out.
You're the one.
That's right. And I'm not ready to end the game.
I'll get it, Mary. Oh, thank heavens. Mary's been asking for you.
Barnaby, I'm so glad you're here.
I came down from San Francisco as soon as I got Betty's call.
Thank you. You knew Eddie so well, Barnaby.
We went back a lot of years.
I know what people are saying, that everything was going downhill for him lately. But that's not true, not entirely. Maybe he was depressed about his work, but not his life. You too saw the garden.
It's beautiful as ever.
Eddie worked in the garden Saturday morning, just as he did every Saturday.
I saw Eddie Saturday. He was on the way to his office.
What did he say?
He said he was close to nailing the butterfly killer.
He was, and he had reason to be.
Why do you say that?
It's a feeling I have, Barnaby. You live with a man most of your life, you can sense when things are going right for him. Eddie was on to something. I know it.
You know something? I'm inclined to agree with you. I think this time Eddie was close. Too close.
Do you think the killer found out and murdered him?
It's a possibility.
Barnaby, I have some savings. Find out what really happened. Prove it wasn't suicide.
I intend to. But I'm going to hire myself on this one. Just like with Eddie, it's become a personal matter.
Didn't they find her body in a vacant lot somewhere?
Yes, she'd gone to a costume party the night before dressed as Madame Butterfly.
That's right, I remember. The newspapers picked it up and labeled the murderer the Butterfly Killer. Did you find anything?
Yes. Some of those taunting notes the killer sent Eddie when he first took charge of the investigation. I will turn myself in, but I want to watch you cops chase me a little longer. I've changed my mind. She deserved to die. This game is becoming a bore. Catch me if you can.
What kind of a man does something like this?
A very dangerous one. Eddie must have started this folder last June when he retired from the force.
I wonder what became of those notes.
When I saw Eddie Saturday, he said that the killer had gone a little too far. He'd send one note too many and Eddie was going to nail him with it. The killer probably took that note along with the rest of them from this folder. Eddie, let's get all of Eddie's papers together. Take them over to the office. Let's see if we can't find something that resembles an appointment. Eddie, did you find a pair of scissors or a knife in there?
No. Why?
According to the police report, Eddie hung himself with a cord from this lamp.
So?
What did he cut it with?
For if a dedication to duty is the hallmark of a great man, then Edward Lawrence Wheelock sleeps among giants, at peace with his final reward. For as much as the spirit of our brother departed hath entered in life immortal, we therefore commit his body to its resting place. May he dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
He was a fine officer, Mary.
Mary.
Be in touch with you, Mary.
Lieutenant. Lieutenant, when your boys went through Eddie's office, did they find a knife or scissors?
No, why?
I'm just trying to make some sense out of something that's pretty senseless.
Barnaby, Mary told me you were looking into Eddie's death. Want some professional advice?
That's the best kind.
Accept the coroner's verdict, death by suicide. Bury this whole tragic episode right here. This is a good place for it.
I wish I could. But I'm afraid to bury the truth. It's got a way of coming back and haunting you.
One hamburger with all the trimmings coming right up. Oh, Barnaby, what you really need is a good night's sleep.
No, what I really need is a crystal ball. I'm trying to make some sense out of this mess.
Nothing?
As far as I can decipher, Eddie had one appointment all last week with Gene Merrick.
You know it?
He was Eddie's prime suspect in the slaying until Merrick was completely exonerated. I wonder why he went to see Merrick.
I almost forgot. A special delivery letter came for you while I was downstairs.
Who from?
I don't know. There's no return address. What is it?
Note. Catch me if you can.
I don't understand, Mr. Jones. The newspapers said that Eddie Wheelock's death was a suicide.
They also predicted rain for today, Mr. Merrick.
Well, you realize that Wheelock wasn't one of my favorite human beings.
Yeah, according to the reports, he gave you a pretty rough time during the initial investigation.
Rough, he got it into his head that I was the butterfly killer.
Well, you were the last one known to have seen the girl alive.
Look, I only walked her to the car when she left the party, period.
According to the reports, you were also having an affair with her, Mr. Merrick. One she intended to break off unless you divorced your wife.
Yeah, Wheelock really worked over that little fact, didn't he?
Eddie Wheelock was a good cop. He was working on a tough case. He was also a fair cop. He later exonerated you.
But my wife didn't. Shortly after the news of my relationship with Linda became known, she filed for divorce. And now I only see my kids on weekends.
I'm sorry about that, but you really can't blame Eddie for your indiscretions. He was just after the truth. He wanted to find Linda Barr's killer.
Look, I'm a little busy. What do you want to know?
Eddie came to see you last week. What about?
A note or something he got from the killer? Killer said he was at the company costume party the night Linda was murdered. Wheelock wanted to know if I could give him a list of everyone at the party. Could you? Not right away, but my secretary finally gave him one.
Any chance you might have a copy?
A good one. She's very efficient.
I'd like to see it.
Here's the list, Mr. Jones. You may keep it if you wish.
You're very efficient. You even listed the costumes everyone wore.
Well, as best I could.
Eddie Wheelock must have asked for this, too.
Yes, he did. How did you know?
I'm a detective. Thank you very much.
Oh, what photographer did you use for the party?
We always use the Kenton Studios.
Kenton Studio. Thank you.
Mr. Stone! These are to be processed right away, or whatever it is you and your machines do with them.
You make it sound like we're one and the same.
No. It's just that, well, this is where you spend so much of your time. I don't know how you do it. Computers seem so complicated to me.
They puzzle a lot of people. But I like puzzles.
Mr. Jones, you're the second person in 2 weeks that's asked to see the proofs of that costume party.
Was the first one named Eddie Wheelock?
Yeah, I believe it was. Said he was investigating that butterfly case.
Mr. Kenton, why is this picture smaller than the other, like a piece of it's been cut off?
Because it has. Mr. Wheelock asked if he could cut off one of the people in it.
Which one?
Tell you the truth, I didn't even notice. I just handed him the scissors.
Now, these two pictures seem to be the same group.
Same group, slightly different angle.
Except this one, there's a tiger missing. Here, look for yourself.
Mr. Wheelock must have cut the tiger off.
According to this list, there wasn't even a tiger at the party.
Yes, hold on.
Any luck on the costume?
Seems most companies don't keep records past 6 months. I'm talking to Mardi Gras costumes right now. Do you think this really might be the killer?
Good possibility. Uninvited guest. Name wasn't on the party list. The police couldn't check him out. And there must be some reason why Eddie wanted this picture.
Yes. You do? Well, Mr. Jones will be down in a few minutes to talk to you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Forbes. Right. Bye-bye. Mardi Gras has a tiger costume that sounds like the one you're looking for.
it's you.
You remember me.
I never forget a face or a costume that goes with it. Besides, you're very popular lately.
Popular?
A man came in last week asking about that tiger suit you rented. He had a picture of it and wanted to know your name. I'm not very good at remembering names, so I told him I'd have to check in the back files, and I'd get in touch with him later.
Did you ever get back to him?
I've been calling him for the last few days, but his line's disconnected. And just a few minutes ago, a woman phoned, calling about the same thing. She said a Mr. Jones was going to stop by to see me.
The woman that called, did you give her my name?
I just told her we had a tiger costume like the one she described.
Where's the rental card now?
Right here in the desk. Here it is. Stone, Mr. Randall Stone. What's it all about, anyway?
You wouldn't understand. But you must believe I'm sorry
Sorry about what?
that you've become part of the game.
I don't understand. Please, don't. Please, please, no. No, no, no.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Mrs. Forbes.
Oh, she's probably on her lunch break. Take the elevator to the 4th floor and just call out.
Thank you. Miss Forbes! You hear, Miss Forbes? Miss Forbes?
Who is it?
It's me, Randall.
The rent's on the table.
Why you come up for that reason, Randall? Not as long as I'm here. I'll just take the check, and you can use the envelope for something else. You were up early this morning, Randall. I heard you go out and get the newspaper. Guess you couldn't sleep, huh? I know how that is. Believe me, ever since my husband died, I find it harder and harder to sleep at night. I think it has something to do with being alone so much of the time. Don't you, Randall? I mean, we're both alone so much.
I'm late for work, Stella.
Oh, I see you've already done today's crossword puzzle. It's amazing how fast you do them.
I bet it's because you used to know all about those different languages from when you taught at college. Randall, did you read about the murder? At the Mardi Gras Costume Company. Oh, poor woman. I bet some creep just probably felt like killing somebody and she was around. And you know, I bet he's just some normal-looking guy you wouldn't even look at twice. The type that fades into the woodwork. Don't you think so, Randall?
Oh. I told you I'm late for work, Stella.
Yeah. Sure. I'll let you get ready, Randall. See you.
I stopped by Mary's.
How is she?
Oh, as well as can be expected, I guess. The reality of her being alone is just now getting to her, I think. Oh, there wasn't much mail forwarded from Eddie's office except for a few advertisements in this bill from the Apex Typewriter Company.
For one Greek keyed typewriter?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange.
Sure is. Mary know anything about that? You ever seeing any typewriter in Eddie's office besides that standard portable here?
No.
Neither do I.
Why would Eddie want a typewriter with a Greek keyboard?
It's a good question. Sounds good.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how beat up some of these things get when you let them out. Sometimes I think I'm renting to elephants. Anything I can do for you?
Yes, sir. Did you rent this machine?
Yeah, about a week ago. You returning it?
No, I'm Barnaby Jones, a private investigator, and my problem is that I want to figure out what Mr. Wheelock wanted with a Greek typewriter. You don't handle many of those, do you?
Try to make my living off Greek typewriters. I'd be on welfare right now.
Did he happen to mention what he wanted with it?
I don't... Oh, yeah. I remember now. He said something about he had to translate a note that was written in Greek.
Translate on a typewriter?
That's exactly what I said. As a matter of fact, I suggested to him that he take the note to somebody who spoke Greek. And he said he already did that. I had no choice except to fall back on the old businessman's creed.
What's that?
Never argue with a customer. I rented him the typewriter.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The young ones, Barnaby, are not like their mothers who came from the old country.
You gotta give him credit for trying.
You got a point there. All right, you convinced me. Be here at 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that wonderful?
Sad thing about your friend Eddie Wheelock.
Yes, that's what I came to talk to you about, Achilles. Eddie stopped by to see you recently, didn't he?
Just last week.
Something about a message in Greek?
That's right. He wanted me to translate it for him.
Did you?
Barnaby, when I was a young man in the old country, I was always moving around from place to place, and not always by choice, mind you. But in my travels, I thought I mastered every Greek dialect known to man, until I saw Eddie's note. There was no way on earth for me to translate.
What was the difficulty?
The difficulty, my old friend, was that it didn't make sense. The letters were Greek, all right, but they didn't spell anything. Just so much, how do you say it? Mumbo mumbo?
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, mumbo jumbo. And nothing more. Eddie told me to keep trying, and then he left.
You still have the note?
Well, he left me a copy. I've been showing it to some of my friends, but... Barnaby, believe me, mumbo jumbo.
He's got to be here somewhere. Somewhere in this note. Some kind of a code, something. Gotta figure it out.
It'll still be there in the morning. And you'll be a lot fresher, too.
I gotta keep at it, Betty. I'm so close.
Barnaby, didn't you get back to any of these people yet?
Where would I get the time?
Well, this Mr. Jensen called 3 times. He needs your help. He said it was very
I'll
important.
get back to him in the morning. Sorry, Betty.
Don't you see what's happening to you, Barnaby? You're becoming as obsessed with this case as Eddie was. He couldn't think of anything else either.
Yeah, you're right. See if you can get Jensen.
All right. It's his office phone. I'm not sure he's there yet, though. I guess he isn't in his office.
Eddie? Eddie, come here, quick. I think I've got it. What does it say?
I don't know. It's all Greek to me.
Betty Jones. It's a code. The killer's own personal code. You see, this note was typed on a Greek typewriter, but the words are really in English. Now, all the killer did was to substitute a Greek character for an English letter. Look at the 2 keyboards.
keys are laid out the same.
Now, all we have to do is reverse the procedure and hit the equivalent of the Greek letter on the American machine. Now, here is the first letter. I. Just give me a couple of minutes and I'll have this thing translated.
Do you think Eddie broke the code, too?
I'm almost positive he did.
And that's why he was killed. In some ways, it's like opening Pandora's box. What does it say?
I worked with the butterfly.
I have good reason to believe the killer worked here, Mr. Merrick, and possibly still does.
Well then, Mr. Jones, obviously the police would have checked him out at the time of the murder.
Not necessarily. The police only checked out the people who went to the costume party.
Oh, but that was everyone who worked here, Mr. Jones. It was a company party at the Pavilion Hotel. Everyone was invited. I know for a fact that everyone came.
No one was left off this guest list for any reason?
Not that I can think of.
Did you see anyone at the party dressed in a tiger costume?
Oh, come on, Mr. Jones, it's been almost a year.
And besides, I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
Why?
Because I only stayed at the party for about an hour or so.
Did you get sick?
Not me, Randall Stone.
Who's Randall Stone?
He works in the computer room.
I don't find his name on the guest list.
That's right. I forgot. Randall wasn't invited because he was working the night shift then. I just saw no reason to send him an invitation.
But he got sick the night of the party.
Yes, and I had to come back here to find someone to take his place, which wasn't easy on such short notice.
Where's Randall Stone now?
In the computer room, I imagine. I'll find out for you. Randall Stone.
What do you know about Randall Stone?
Oh, not much, really. He knows his business, but he keeps pretty much to himself. He's just one of those people that nobody seems to pay any attention to.
Oh? Thank you. Well, isn't that a coincidence?
What?
Randall called in sick today, too.
What's his address?
Good morning. Can I help you?
Is Mr. Jones here?
No, I'm sorry he isn't. Would you like to leave your name and number?
Is it all right if I wait?
Well, I'm not sure when he'll be returning.
It's very important.
Certainly. Have a seat.
Realize I wouldn't allow this under normal circumstances.
Normal circumstances?
If Randall hadn't been so rude to me lately. Listen, private detective or no private detective, I don't believe in spying on my tenants. What are you looking for anyway?
For what may be the final piece of a puzzle.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place. Randall's always solving puzzles.
I have a feeling he's also good at creating puzzles.
What's that? I didn't know Randall had a typewriter. I've never heard him use it. What kind of a typewriter is that?
Reap.
Well, I'm sorry. My father-in-law isn't back yet, and I've got a lunch date. I'm going to have to close the office, so if you'll leave your name and number, I'll have him call you when he gets back.
I said I'd wait.
Now, look,
I think we better go in there. We'll wait together. Why don't you say something? Anything. Don't you want to know who I am? Or do you know already?
I have an idea.
You know all right. That's why you're so quiet. You're afraid. She was afraid, too. The little butterfly was so afraid she started to cry. Do you understand why I killed her?
I never understand why anyone kills.
Because she was so beautiful, and I wanted her so much. But she was a tease. You know what I mean. She used to make me think that she cared for me. She'd smile at me, come in my office sometimes and talk. And that's why I had to be at that costume party with her. She was always surrounded by her friends. So I waited till she left. And I followed her home. And I thought she was going to be happy to see me. She was angry. And she said terrible things to me. She called me a creep. Started laughing and kept on laughing until there was only one way that I could stop her.
Eddie, I found a missing piece. I know who the butterfly killer is.
It's a shame that information won't do you any good, Mr. Jones.
You must be Randall Stone.
That's right.
Well, if you've decided it's time to kill me the way you killed Eddie Wheelock, you're too late. I've already talked to the police. They have your name. They're out looking for you now.
I don't believe you.
Talked to your landlady, Stella. I used the phone in your apartment. It's all over, Stone. It's just a matter of time.
Time can be to my advantage, especially with her as a hostage. Your gun. Take it out. Put it on the desk. Slowly. Now turn around.
What do you hope to gain by this?
I'm just not ready to spend the rest of my life in jail. Come on.
You hurt her.
Now, you just sit tight, Jones. Don't try to follow us, and don't pick up the phone. Not if you ever want to see her alive again.
Car's in the parking lot. Act normal.
You'll never get away with this.
For your sake, you better hope I do. Slide over on the other side. You're going to drive. Go on. Jones, hold it! Or you'll get it with your own gun.
Gun's not loaded, Stone. I don't go around with a loaded gun when I don't think I'm going to use it. Got the shells right here in my pocket. You want to see them?
Barnaby!
Stand right where you are. Get your hands up.
I thought you said it wasn't loaded.
Back where I come from, they'd say you'd been flim-flam.
Barnaby, you're quite a gardener yourself.
You know, when I was a boy, my father used to say the three things that make a good gardener: sharp tools, rich soil, and an occasional glass of cold lemonade while you're working. He knew what he was talking about.
Oh, wait till you see what we're having for lunch. Baked ham, sweet potatoes, and fresh corn.
You didn't have to go to all that trouble.
It's no trouble. I like having both of you here.
You're gonna be all right, Mary?
Yes. Even though it doesn't bring Eddie back, it helps knowing the truth about how he died. Thanks, Barnaby. Lunch will be ready soon.
I'll help you with the table.
Yes, sir. He really knew what he was talking about.